Hello, family. Welcome to our weekly forecast. We are currently looking at the Euro USD pair, and right here on the chart, this is the weekly time frame. The first thing I'd like us to emphasize on is this horizontal ray denoted clearly on the chart, and we can see that this has been a resistance zone for a long time in this pair before you finally saw the big bearish move to the downside that broke through the horizontal ray and also broke structure. And now we are seeing a pullback that has been on for about 2 weeks now. Now moving on to the daily time frame, we are still in this pullback phase right here. We can see this daily high taken out. This was a resistance zone. There was a breakout here. So for breakout and retest traders out there, most of them were stopped during this bullish run to the outside. And the aim of this bullish run was to take out their stop losses here. So there was a stop hunt at this level, at the 1.16 level and higher. And you can see that there were two attempts on the daily chart to break through that level, but it failed. And throughout this entire pullback phase, this was the only day that sellers won in the market. So right now, we currently know our buyers using this higher time frame. From the weekly, we can see we are bearish. Even on the daily time frame, we can see the market is trending downwards. And moving on, we'll get a clearer picture of what we are expecting the market to do in the coming weeks. Now, this is a 4-hour chart, and we can clearly see that upward trend to this high, and liquidities here was taken out. So right now, long term, we are bearish, and we being sellers in this market, we want to look for confirmation, things to make us certain that the market is likely to move to the downside. Because when you pull up your chart and you look at it, it is in a bullish flag or wave, or however you want to put it. So it is very stupid of us to just jump in there and pick ourselves. We need extra confirmation. And we can see with these two candles that I've marked with a down arrow. And the reason being that when you look at price action, okay, you can see that series of higher highs and higher lows were being formed. Coming down to this last big bullish move to the upside, we see sellers coming in to protect the zone. So there's a lot of passive sellers in this zone right here that are trying to protect the zone. They came in, we saw them move to the downside. There's a gap here that was filled. Buyers came in again, tried to take out this high and possibly break out of the high. Sellers came in stronger, took buyers out. Buyers came in again and they failed. Sellers won. So we see repeated attempts of buyers trying to win in this market, but they keep on failing. And sellers are beginning to build momentum. That's one thing we have to pay attention to in the upcoming weeks. So now on the 1 hour time frame or the hourly, we can clearly see what's going on. And I'd like us to pay attention to this move to the upside, because this was heavy manipulation in the market. And this was instigated by market makers. The reason being that the first reason is during this break of structure, we had a retest of the zone. So for breakout and retest traders, some like to enter early. Most of them were stopped out because their stop losses were hanging at this highs. And the reason why we can see that this was a market maker scenario or stop hunt was because of this extreme buy move to the upside just to take out stop losses, and then it collapses quickly. So that sharp move to the upside and to the downside, it makes us know that there was a manipulation in price. And now the market is trying to balance itself as quickly as possible. That's why we see that sharp move back to the downside to balance itself. And now the market is in its correct phase or position. Now, you can see that there's a gap right here that needs to be filled. So I'm expecting this gap to be filled, and we might potentially see a move from there to the downside. But in the grand scheme of things, when I look at the aggressive buying, or even on the daily time frame in the 4 hour, we see aggressive buying in the market. So I'm not expecting it to move down sharply yet. We might see some area of accumulation just to create a lot of space before it moves to the downside to pick up orders and to also stop out a lot of retail traders. And one other reason why I'm a bit skeptical in taking this position inside this range is because we are currently in a range from this low to this high. You can see that the market is still in that range and has not broken out of that range. So our potential entry is going to be at the 1.16 level or this gap. If we miss it, no problem. Wait for that break out of that range, and we then get opportunities to short lower. Now this is the dollar index on the daily time frame. You can see this high was taken out. After that high was taken out, sellers came in trying to protect that level. Sharp move to the downside. We are in a bullish trend right here, and we can see there was an attempt to take out this low but couldn't quite succeed. We see that sharp movement here, back up. Sellers came in again but failed. And you can see that the bulls are building momentum in this market. So we are seeing the beginning of a potential move to the upside. This is a great buy zone on the daily time frame to the upside. So once the DXY is still bullish, we're expecting bearishness on the EURUSD. Now this is the 4 hour time frame. Moving back to the euro, you can clearly see this is our current resistance zone. Our first resistance zone here was taken out. This is our current resistance zone. We see 3 candles respecting that resistance zone right there. So we might wait to see for that break and a possible retest, and to see whether we can get shorting opportunities to the downside. Now this zone that I've marked here is a gap. We're expecting a lot of aggressiveness in buys at this zone. And the reason being that there are a lot of passive buyers in this zone right here that has been marked. You can see passive sellers here. So immediately the market hit that zone, immediately we saw that bullish move to the upside. You can see that sellers quickly jumped in to protect that zone. We see several attempts to break that zone, but it failed. And I'm expecting the same thing here because we have a gap that needs to be filled. So there are a lot of passive buyers in this market. So what we are likely to see when a shorting begins is we take out this liquidity areas all the way to this zone, and we see aggressive buying coming in as some form of pullback, and then potentially see more move to the downside. So on paper, this is our sell limit. Our stop loss is right here above significant daily highs and above the zone. If we should break higher, then I'm expecting a continual move to the upside. But for now, we see that bears are currently strong in this market. So we're expecting potential move to the downside. That's all for now, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you for staying to the end of this video. See you in the next video.